Woo! Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing to the mics. I always had the style to pop. 100 on my fist and 100 on my watch. What is up, people? Hey, thanks for tapping in with VinnyVin. That's me. For those who made it all the way to episode 4, hey man, y'all some real ones. This is your first time making it to the pod. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining and welcome, We're just going to dive into episode 4. It's kind of a quick turnaround episode right here. So, I'm shooting it on Monday, MLK Day, And I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I'm going to wear something nice for this episode, Kind of attend the activity with some nice clothing or whatever. So I'm over here digging through my freaking closet. Boom, what's that? A collared shirt. I'll throw that thing on, You ever wear a collared shirt and do nothing all day? You ain't even mad because you got a collared shirt on. So it doesn't even feel like you wasted the day. You feel kind of productive or whatever, You do something minimal like go check your mailbox in a collared shirt. You come back with a freaking stack full of envelopes. You just feel like you're operating at a different level. I mean, because look at this guy right here. Look at this guy. This guy is in a freaking collared shirt. He looked like he's trying to sell you solar or whatever, Yeah, man, you go over there. You could be outside just mowing your grass, And while you're mowing your grass, your freaking neighbors might come outside and be like, hey, bro, you think you could cut my grass next Thursday? And you're like, what, bro? I don't even cut grass for a living. But that's that freaking dry fit polo effect right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, you go pick up your baby from your freaking baby mama or whatever in a freaking shirt that got them neck buttons on them. The freaking neck button, boy. And she might start asking you for some more freaking child support money just because it looks like you got it going on or whatever, Or if you feel sad and you just like going through it, crying yourself to bed or whatever. Fuck that, Wake up in the middle of the night, right? Kill that mild depression. Go find you a little collared shirt in your closet, put it on, look yourself in the mirror. Tell me that'll make you feel better. Let me know how that goes for you. Yeah, that's kind of what I do at work all day, though. I just wear suits all day, I kind of try to, second guess my freaking leadership from firing me or whatever. Because they don't want to fire somebody in a suit all day. You don't question somebody's authority in a suit. It just looks like they got it going on, Like he must be generating some type of business to afford some suits, So yeah, man, they don't want to fire somebody who keeps the office vibrant, changing the color of the suit every day, You can't replace that. It's something that you can't just fire or whatever. But no, for real, I think I really like nice clothes, buying them, kind of to make up for the time that, growing up, I didn't necessarily have any nice clothes, Because back in the day, my mom was doing all the shopping for me, She was picking out all the outfits she thought were cute, And I'm not trying to look cute, Mom. I'm trying to look like a dog, or whatever. But I never had a say because I never had a dollar growing up, And my mom, she was one of them bargain shoppers. She'll buy me 2 freaking left shoes if she found out she could get them 50% off, I'm over here freaking walking like freaking Forrest Gump, And yeah, man, she bought me 1 pair of pants or whatever, It would have to last me from 1st grade all the way to 5th grade, She was one of those type of people. On top of that, I had a brother who's 10 years older than me. So I was constantly getting dealt hand-me-downs, I'd have 1 pair of pants so big I had to freaking cuff them 47 times when summer came around, turn them into shorts or whatever. I was looking like Ludacris's little cousin, Little Vince or whatever, So yeah, man, I mean... And then my hand-me-downs, my mom would always try to talk me or like convince me into like, oh, these are some good clothes. I'm like, well, what's up with the holes right there? She's like, oh, they're just distressed. I'm like, I don't care how stressed those pants are, you know? I'm freaking stressed. I gotta see my third grade crush and push her on the swing set later. I'm trying to look fly, you know, or whatever. Yeah, man, I'll freaking go to school and freaking clothes I discontinued 6 years ago or whatever. You know, my teachers all looking at me like, hey, that kid's kind of cool. I don't know what it is about him. You know, they'd always try to relate to me because I was wearing clothes that they grew up in, you know, treating me like I'm one of the boys or whatever, you know. And I'd have my friends, and some of my friends, you know, their parents, you know, they had two parents at home, so like they were able to buy like double the clothes or whatever, and you know, they'd be in the Jordans and stuff like that, and then we go play recess. I'm wearing clothes that like 2 times my size or my brother's clothes, you know, and I'm standing next to them, and I look like I served 6 years in the Salvation Army. You know what I mean? You know, my house was going to war with freaking struggle and inflation, homie. You know. So yeah, man, now that I got my own money, you know, I'll buy some nice clothes every here and there, you know. I want to get me a little chain, a little watch, you know. I want to start buying some clothes, you know. I don't care. I'll freaking buy some clothes. You know, I'll freaking buy a peacock sweater, you know, with freaking chinchilla fur inside. You know, wear some freaking swimming trunks because it's so hard to dress in this California weather, you know. This, because it'd be freezing out here in California in the morning for our winter. And then by 9:30 a.m., it's freaking hot, bro. It's hot as a bitch. You know, and that bitch better be tan, or that bitch better be a Jessica Alba or something like that, you know? This freaking weather, man, it's so hard to dress in. It's like almost more confusing than, you know, it's almost more confused than freaking Will from Stranger Things or whatever, you know? But yeah, man, so that's why I always try to look nice now, you know, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, man, shout out to MLK. Like I said, we're shooting on a Monday, so shout out to MLK. You know, and this isn't a joke to make fun of like any of his accomplishments or what he did for us. You know, I just really needed that day off, you know. We're 20 days into the new year and I'm freaking already having a hard time, you know. I think I'm 20 days in. It's been brutal. I think I gained like already 5 pounds or something like that, you know. Because that's one of the things, man. I just like to eat, you know. I don't have a portion limit, you know. I'll freaking eat what I want. And I'll do some crazy stuff like order a pizza and then maybe order some freaking orange chicken and chow mein just to see if they go together, if they can coexist, you know. Would orange chicken on pizza be a good topping that I can, you know, maybe come up with and invest in, you know, or something like that. So yeah, man, I'm over here thinking like, man, I need to go for a jog every once in a while. You know, I got to get in shape. Because the shape I'm not trying to be is a circle, bro, you know? I'm trying to look like that freaking triangle you would see in geometry or whatever, you know? The isosceles or whatever. And have the stamina where I can run from police or whatever. Yeah, so I was over here thinking like, I signed up to a gym, 24-hour fitness. I'm like, man, I liked it though. I picked it because, you know, every time I leave, I feel good about myself. Is it me or does everyone at 24-hour fitness just kind of look overweight, you know? Everybody there just kind of looks like they just got done eating a 24-piece chicken nugget, you know? I'll stand next to some members. I'm like, I'm not that fat, you know? I'm not that far off, you know? I look like a D3 athlete who plays freaking baseball in the summer and then freaking bags your groceries right after the game or whatever, you know? But yeah, man, like, there's no type of bodybuilders at a freaking 24 anymore, you know? I feel like before 24 was popping. Nowadays, you don't see nobody. 24 is like the new YMCA, you know? And everybody just kind of look kind of like on the plus size when you go, you know? You'll freaking be walking through the gym and you'll see somebody sitting at the bench freaking door dashing Chipotle mid-workout, you know? 24-hour fitness. Should be called 24-hour thickness, you know what I mean? So I like it. You if you really want to destroy your ego or whatever, or freaking crush your self-esteem, I'd say go check out EOS, go sign up over there. That's where all the attractive people go work out at. You go see them freaking, them gold gym members. They'll be looking like Tiny Arnold or whatever, You'll see the Instagram models out of EOS. And every time I go to EOS, I'll freaking work my eyeballs out. You know what I mean? You just gotta be careful when you're doing that, because you don't want to get caught on camera by one of these freaking gym influencers and their tiny freaking tripods or whatever. These freaking gym influencers, man, they'll move all your stuff disrespectfully too. They'll move it all out your way just to freaking record right in front of you. And then they give you attitude for looking at them or whatever. You're like, really? They'll record anywhere too. You'll be in the locker room, just minding your business. You turn around, you see somebody making a freaking a video reaction to their first steroid cycle. You're like, bro, I can't go anywhere without being recorded, And freaking all the girls are like, oh, don't look at me or whatever. Don't look at me when I'm recording, And you'll be trying your hardest not to perv out, You'll be on the freaking Stairmaster, focused on your heart rate. You're trying to make sure your freaking heart don't freaking burst after doing 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. As soon as you're done, you turn around, there's some chick in freaking see-through yoga pants, doggy style position. And then you freaking look, right? And before you even process what's even going on, you're on camera, Now you got to defend yourself to your significant other on like, why you're having a staring eye contest with a freaking butt crack or whatever, EOS. EOS has some fine looking women, though, I will tell you that. That's the type of gym you go to find your next divorce or whatever, But yeah, man, I'm trying to get back in shape a little bit. Summer's coming up. I want to have some activities that, I can just freaking pop my shirt off, I want to be like that one guy at the gym who's always just freaking lifting his shirt up for no reason, That's how he greets you. He just lifts his shirt up, You're like, okay, doing things you don't even need to be doing, and he's still lifting his freaking shirt up on you. You're like, he's trying to scan his gym pass to go in the gym. He's over here freaking lifting his shirt up, Can't stand that kind of guy, But yeah, man, shout out to MLK, Shout out to everybody who got a dream, pushing forward to make their dream a reality, And not to get like serious or anything, but like I'm into that kind of stuff. So I'd recommend, I would tell people like this, like start your dream, A lot of people who you really care about the most, they ain't gonna believe in your dream, and that shit sucks, because the people you care about, you just want their support, you want them to have the same belief that you have, but like that's not the case. That never is the case, They won't believe until it's undeniable, And that's okay, because they're not supposed to have your freaking vision, Only you have that, And nobody believes nowadays, You got to go ahead and pump yourself up. You got to be your number one fan, You got to go walk up to the freaking sink, throw some tap water on your face, no soap, just water, And then look yourself in the mirror and be like, make non-believers believers. They don't want to believe until it's time to believe. I'm going to be great, believe me, You got to say some stuff like that. And, because, yeah, man, these women won't believe anyways. They wouldn't believe until you get a freaking blue check next to your freaking name or whatever. And then even when you get a blue check right there, your freaking mom's going to ask you like, yeah, but does it come with dental or whatever, One of those things. So, shout out MLK for having a dream. It was all a dream or whatever, I always think like, MLK was fighting for some cool stuff back in the day. Like, I wonder what MLK will be fighting for now, if he was in this era. I could just see him now like, what do you mean gas prices are still going up after we just stole all that oil from Venezuela or whatever. Fighting over Little Caesar prices. What do you mean it's not $5 hot and ready anymore or something? I don't know. Him having an argument with his girl or whatever, like, bitch, don't you lie to me. I seen you with another man in my dream or something. I don't know. My bad if that's fucked up. Yeah, nah, I don't see anybody like that in our society no more. Yeah, man. Like I said, this episode's a quick turnaround, so I don't really got much today. But I did wanted to drop something today, so I thought I would for everybody who's actually enjoying my stuff. So yeah. We'll go ahead and we'll tap in with VinnyVin another time. For now, it's deuces, and I'll see y'all later. Gone. Let's just dance in slow-mo till we can't dance no more. Let's just dance in slow-mo till we can't dance no more. Let's just dance in slow-mo.